Hello, this is Dr. Young, and I'm going to go over your Week 5 assignments. Sorry, it's a little slow today. Okay, so for Week 5, we're going to go over management theory, and leadership styles, workforce motivation, and then controlling and organizing some things in that area. Specifically, you're going to read about motivation, human resource management, and then future implications for management. So for your Week 5 discussion, you're going to discuss one of the following. So in this scenario for your discussion, you were recently appointed as a new manager, and you face a number of issues in your new position. So you need to you can address any one of these here. One of them is basically talking about transactional leadership, and it's not been effective. So which one would you adopt? What kind of leadership style would you adopt, and why? And feel free to discuss why it would be more effective than transactional in this case, which it really doesn't tell you anything, but it just has not been effective. So if it's not been effective, what other methods would you use? And just give me rationale for your choice. If you want to choose this one, you can talk about HR and basically an experienced executive assistant discovered she made the same amount of money as a newly hired janitor. So you're really going to need to put on your HR hat for this one and talk about how you would address it. And you're going to kind of talk about the role that HR plays in performance, and then go into the scenario here. Or you can talk about the third bullet, which is bonuses. Talk about bonuses and what you think, if they're effective or not, and why not. Benefits, advantages, disadvantages, you want to talk about those. If not, if you don't think they are effective, what other strategies would you use to keep people motivated? So that's really all for your discussion. And for your Week 5 project, and the last thing that you have to do for the class, it's a 4 to 5 page paper, Microsoft Word, that doesn't include the title or reference page. You want to make sure to cite all your sources. And for this, you're going to talk about a team that you know very well. It needs to be a team with at least 4 to 6 members. It could be any kind of team. It could be inside or outside of your work. It could be a past experience. You just have to be able to remember how it went, the experience and everything, and what you did and what was the goal, and some of the bumps you might have experienced along the way. So for this, you're going to address all of the following. So once you've decided that you've chosen a team situation that you've been in the past, whether it be leading or not, or you didn't have to be the leader, but you want to talk about the strengths and weaknesses. But the thing about this is I don't want an opinion. I don't want a paper just talking about your experience. You need to weave in the concepts through the course. So, for here, you're going to have to, how can you apply some of the concepts, theory that you've read about in your paper for the first part when you talk about teams, the strengths and weaknesses, okay? So make sure that I need to be able to see that. If you're just going to recall your experience without weaving in, some of the course concepts from your text or your readings, your text and your lectures, that's going to cost you some points. To analyze the team dynamics, discuss stages of team development here. And that is in your text, and that is in the concepts in the course. So, you're going to pull in some resources there when you talk about team dynamics. For 3, you're going to defend 2 to 3 recommendations for team performance improvement, and that's also going to be based on what you've read. You do not have to just use your text. You don't have to use your textbook only. You don't have to use just your lecture in the class. You can go and do research for this and reputable publications. The Society of Human Resource Management, Business Week, Forbes, just different, basically publications that are online are good resources as well. The library, of course, journal articles, and at the South University Library. I would obviously encourage that kind of research in this paper. 4, assess the level of trust evident in team interactions. So that's going to be in the motivation and teamwork section that we talked about trust, and you want to analyze that based on what you've read about in class as well. Pull in resources there, and then a leadership style. What leadership style would have worked best for this team? Even if it didn't work well, what would have worked best? Or maybe you feel like, yeah, this team was pretty cohesive and successful in the end, but it could have, I think this leadership style would have been better for this group of people, and explain why. That's the kind of thing I want to read about, analyzing the leadership style that was there, and then maybe another one that may have been better, or if the leadership style was perfect, then tell me why. Discuss that as well. So, and then number 6 is, how would you create a plan that would facilitate higher motivation in your team? So what you need to do is talk about some of the practices that you would implement that would create a highly excuse me, I'm losing my voice here a little bit. Sorry. A highly motivated team. So, put some suggestions, recommendations out there, and defend those recommendations or suggestions that you offer. And that's really all. The course reflection is there if you'd like to take that survey. But if you have any questions, let me know, and I'll be happy to assist you. And it's been a great term, and I really appreciate your participation and dedication in this class. And I wish you the best of luck in all your future goals. The last day of class will be Wednesday. So just make sure that all of your work is submitted by Wednesday, because the next day I will be grading. So just make sure that you meet that deadline, and there'll be a farewell message on the announcement board that addresses that as well. So again, thanks for a great term, and it's been a pleasure to be your instructor this term. Thank you.